Welcome to another episode of the Apex Perspective podcast. Today I have with me Angesh Vikram, who's currently the Senior Engineering Leader at Cisco. Now, Angesh, can you tell me a little bit more about your background and how it led you to Cisco?
Yeah, sure. If you take the background from my end, like I started my career way back in 2005.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
just the way you are right now. The
Yeah,
one thing which kept me going is my passion towards the work and the consistency, how to solve the bigger problem into the picture. So
hmm,
I was like started with as a regular technical guy, contributing to the problems, making sure I'm making a big impact, and slowly the horizon, the scope changes, right? You start thinking more like, okay, this is the
certainly.
problem, solve it. How I can go and see from a bigger picture point of view, how I can solve the problem in a holistic view, how I can
Hmm.
serve my customer, what is the customer value is going to deliver, and that helped me not only to progress in my career, but it helped my team as well, right?
Hmm.
When you take from a bigger picture point of view, and
Excellent.
that's how I graduated from an individual contributor to a people's leader or a technical leader aspect of it. I hop on few of the startups or and a large scale enterprise. If you say that before Cisco, I was in GE and a PayPal. So different domains, not from the same, but yes, that's where it is. And right now, I'm at Cisco, and if you if I talk about Cisco, it's really give me a platform where I
Hmm.
can see the impact I'm making to the society at a very large scale. When I say large
Hmm.
scale, you imagine if you're running a network somewhere down the line, you are using some of the Cisco product.
Yeah,
If I talk about the
absolutely.
domain, what I do it in Cisco, I usually lead the security side of the business, where it's all about identity, zero trust policy, and the access manager is one of the product we have on the cloud. So that's pretty much it. And with the flavor of AI now, things are changing a lot, right? And
Hmm.
that's where we are talking about how we can solve now bigger problem more efficiently through the AI.
Hmm. Excellent.
Anything specific you want to know, I can talk more in detail.
Absolutely. So I was really curious about the beginning part of your career. I think this is a very consistent pattern, which I've seen with other principal engineers and other staff engineers from Amazon and Google. And this is the specific case, is that they recognize sometimes they want to understand the holistic view and not just the technical work itself. So at what point did you want to start viewing the work you're doing holistically, where you're understanding the bigger picture behind business outcomes and behind other organizational objectives alongside technical work?
Yeah, so when you are individual contributor in your different phase of your career, you think about how software built, what is the
Mhm.
architecture I'm going to do. This is a complex problem. How I can make it more efficient, how I can scale it. That's your focus. That's your scope. But
Mhm.
slowly you broaden your horizon. You start thinking how organizations are built, how I'm going to scale my system, how I can cater my customer use case, and with an efficient way. That's a
Mhm.
transformation of your thought will happen, and that's how you start seeing it up. You start seeing how I can help my teammates, how I can help my team to be more efficient. So that transformation will happen in your career, and that will take you to the next league. You're not just
Mhm.
building software, you're building
Yes.
enterprise and organizations.
At what point did you realize you need to learn a little bit more about the business outcomes?
So as you gradually like try to solve problem, you always go up, right? And
Mhm.
then you start interacting with customer, you start understanding their customer pains, you start
Mhm.
seeing how you can solve. Now you're not addressing one user task or one
Mhm.
feature at a time. You are addressing real customer problem.
Right.
And that was the real challenge when I started understanding, when I was at PayPal, like when we were really
Mhm.
facing I was part of the pricing and payment domain. And when we
Mhm.
start interacting with our merchant and things, then I realized, okay, it's not what I'm delivering it. It is what we are making their life easier in their
Yes.
day-to-day life. And that's how things started change in my career.
Excellent. And another extension to that question actually is, how do you approach understanding customer problems? To give you context behind this question, I've asked some other technical people a similar question, and what they typically say is they look at customer behavior. Because if you see the bigger problem in business in general, there's a situation in which sometimes a customer does not know what they need, and rather they say one thing, potentially they need something different. So, what is your approach to truly understanding customer problems?
Okay, so I will divide the customer into two big buckets, right? So, like for
Sure.
example, when I was in PayPal or G, so our customer were really, really expert in their domain, what they are doing, what they are working on. But how my product, how our system is going to help them out, they really don't know that aspect, and there where our expertise comes into the picture when we align our expertise with their domain knowledge,
Mhm.
what they want to. And there we work as a collaborative team and we try to understand their problem, try to solve the problem from their aspect of it. Now, the
Mhm.
other set of customer when I'm in Cisco, our customers are more mostly the network admins. Those are very, very proficient and professional experts, right? They know they are maintaining the huge enterprise network. So
Mhm.
they know what they are doing, but they need tools to build that one. And they need to know how they can do it efficiently. So in the other way, when your customer are really, really expert and you're working with them, gaining their credibility means a lot. You need to be on top of it. You need to understand their challenges. If you're not,
Mhm.
you are failing your credibility. And that matters the most. So the approach with a customer who is expert in their domain, you are working as a partner, you're working with
Mhm.
them to help them what they need. So there you lead, take a lead, you explain them how they can be more efficient. On the
Mhm.
other hand, when you have a customer who is really expert, they really need your help to solve their problem, they know what is the problem. In that
Mhm.
case, you have to understand from his point of view what challenges, what issues they are facing, and then you help with your expertise to address those challenges. So
Right.
this, there are two different kind of customer you deal with, but in both cases, communication, credibility, honesty, and being transparent give you a long mileage.
Certainly. And when you became more client facing and understanding customer problems, how did that impact, or if it did, how did it impact your understanding of your technical work?
Definitely. So I will give you a few classic examples. Like the
Mhm.
customer are like, for example, customer are facing some challenges, and they say that I really want to get this thing done, and this is my limitation. I cannot get you certain set of licenses, but I want to get this
Mhm.
thing done. This is my challenges. Now
Mhm.
I have to think through my product point of view, that
Right.
okay, I know that right now you do not want to go and improve your license category and thing, but you
Mhm.
want this product to work for you. And
Mhm.
as an honest support team, I will work, I'll try to understand, are there any way we can configure your system so that as a workaround you will achieve this, you will have the flavor what you want, and if it
Mhm.
is start giving you returns, you will definitely upgrade yourself to the next license. so
Right.
so that kind of thing happens a lot when you understand the customer problem, then you try to brainstorm your system that okay, is there any
Right.
way system you can configure it so that it can
Right.
help you to achieve your customer problem. And most of the time, Aryan, it happens that I always keep surprised, okay, this is my system can do this as well, I was not aware about it,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
system is built by various experts, and we may just know a delta aspect of it, right, or
Mhm.
a particular portion. So when you start solving their problem, you get a breadth of your product and try to put a right workaround for them to work, for you to work and
Mhm.
learn. And then through that, you get really good features and functionality which can help you to
Mhm.
build your product more mature.
Right.
Hope
And you
I answered.
start. I absolutely. I love that answer, and I'm assuming also you start identifying patterns with customers, and that changes how you start approaching your technical work. And I think this is a really interesting observation you made about how it actually impacts the work you do. Now, I'd love to
If you
shift.
want,
Please
I
go
will
ahead.
give you some. I'll give you some context
Sure.
behind.
Please. Please. Please.
So like when customer integrate with as a network context, when a customer integrate with the various system, right, their context lies at a different plan. Like if you have a data center, your context lies in a data center plane. And if you have some cloud account, all of your cloud context stays on the cloud.
Yeah.
And as a network admin, you are trying to build which is allowed what, you try to build the policy around it. So you may
Hmm.
end up putting some policies on the cloud, some policies on the data center, who can access what.
Hmm.
When I say policies, like you define who can access what kind of rule from a very high level, like understanding point of view. But
Hmm.
it's a very complex configuration you have to do. Now, your data center may not aware what kind of policy is being set onto the cloud, and and to have an end-to-end understanding of the context through various product
Yes.
lines is very critical. So when we
Hmm.
started working towards it, and then I started, and all of them part of a different puzzle of a same product, right? I started talking to data center team, then I integrated with the cloud workload teams, how they are doing the policy and thing, and
Hmm.
how we can collaborate as one team, and we come up with the feature like common policy with support end to end. You share the context across your horizontally to different and various product, which helps you out, right? So just an example point of view, when customer reach out and say,
Hmm.
okay, this is their problem, they want to
Hmm.
solve it, how they can do that part. And then
Hmm.
you start brainstorming your product. Okay, I have this information, now let's build one
Hmm.
product around it. And then that's how you
Hmm.
come up with a new mature product which
Excellent.
support you, which support your customer.
Excellent. Now, what I'd love to do is shift the conversation to more towards the AI perspective. And what you've done, Angesh, in your career with AI was very, very impressive. Especially what I found interesting is the transformations you made with AI on the engineering teams, along with the fact that you reduced a lot of manual workload on a lot of systems. But what I was curious about to start the conversation is your approach to leveraging AI. As you do know, we had this part of the conversation before the podcast started, that there can be an approach that is towards AI because it's a hot commodity as opposed to maximizing impact. So, how do you approach leveraging AI in a way that it increases the measured outcomes the most?
Yeah, now AI is everywhere. You sit on a lunch, you sit on a coffee, you are talking about it, right?
Yes.
And for the last 2 and 3 years, if you see that AI is helping us a lot. When I say
Hmm.
helping us a lot, it's a one of the biggest transformation we are seeing it in our day-to-day life, right? There are misconception that AI is just an assistant, or it may take your job, or it may replace you. No, in reality, AI is transforming the entire software development lifecycle. It's
Hmm.
not just one aspect or another. You start taking from the requirement, architectural, code generation, test generation, even documentation and support, or the knowledge management. As I mentioned, like we have knowledge in a different deltas on a different sector. How do we know what exists where? And AI is
Hmm.
helping us out there, right? So I would say the role of us as an engineer is evolving. We are not just
Hmm.
building software. We are now we are orchestrating the software. We are
Hmm.
more moving towards an intelligent orchestrator rather than a
Hmm.
developer, right? If we take ourselves a bit back into the history, right? Earlier, when the software world come, we say, okay, all the jobs will go away. There is a big pushback, and we have a lot of industrial impacted on that one, right? And then
Hmm.
it do not took away the job, it just changed the nature of job, and we see a huge potential in the software world to offer as a job potential, right? We just need to know what we have to do. AI
Hmm.
transformation is doing the same. I see
Right.
there will be very huge spike of work will go across, and now not only the software professional, it will include a wider audience
A
who are we.
wide, yes, yes.
Yeah, so it is going to,
Everyone, everyone.
everyone will be part of that journey, and it's going to give more opportunity to work, deliver,
Hmm.
and impact to our system, not just
Hmm.
a software developer. So far we see that as an engineer or developer make the biggest impact. That's going to change.
Yes.
So that's going to change for sure.
Absolutely. And Another question for you is about the AI transformation specifically. So, what's not really something that's not dissimilar from AI transformations are digital transformations. And across my conversations with a lot of executives who have done these successful digital transformations and have experienced unsuccessful ones, a commonality, a common pattern is that the key stakeholders are not involved in the process, which leads to an unsuccessful digital transformation. But now, when we talk about AI and implementing successful AI transformations, which you have done with your engineering teams, how do you approach doing it in a way that has a high chance of success? As you know, because there's been unsuccessful digital transformations in the past.
Yeah, definitely. As I mentioned, that now we have more responsibility. We are
Hmm.
not just responsible for our work, we are responsible for the work of our agents, right?
Yes.
And just imagine, one engineer produce X amount of work and have
Hmm.
Y amount of errors in the code. If we
Hmm.
put AI into it, X is multiplied by X square. Imagine
Yes.
Y will also multiply by Y square if we are
So more
not
errors.
diligent. Yes, it's just turbo delivering our changes. So
Right.
it doesn't mean the error is not turbo exponentially growing. Error is
Hmm.
also going to increase if you are not intelligent enough, if you're
Hmm.
not making a right call. So I have
Hmm.
seen that few of the initiatives simply fail because we moved in a wrong direction. We
Hmm.
do not uh, review the things at the right time, and we
Hmm.
have a wrong product at our end, wrong delivery at our end. We really do not wanted it at all. But
Hmm.
the good part, it's really fast. You come to know the failure very fast. That's
Right.
the thing. Now, as an engineer, my responsibility grow fast. Now,
Hmm.
if I know how I can make my agent work in the right direction at the right time, there I'm gonna be a successful team, right? So
Hmm.
it's now every engineer is a team lead who is working with various agents, and he has to ensure how they are going to deliver at what level with the
Hmm.
human input. If he's just thinking that okay, he simply wrote down one prompt, deliver
It's
everything,
impossible. Impossible.
it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna
It's
happen.
not there yet. It's not there yet. Not even close, right? And this is actually another part of the conversation, which is critical. It's understanding the limitations of AI. I'll give you one example. I interviewed the principal AI engineer from McKinsey very recently, right? And what he said is that the biggest limitation is that there's not enough humans or subject expertise to review the workflows. That's the limitation.
That's
So tell.
it's he's very true. I'll tell you. Like now we have so many artifacts. Like the way how we in a regular software development, what happened? You have a requirement. The PRD comes earlier used to come from your PM. The product gives you a requirement. It's already coming from a human who's credible, who's taking ownership. Now what
Yeah.
happened? We use a skill which write down a feature requirement, and that's a perfect look. Like when you take a first look, you will be amazed. Oh wow! But now when you start reviewing line by line, you will understand it's take too much of time. It's generating too much of artifact sections, which is
Yep.
not needed for you. So
Hmm.
the approach what I'll tell the approach what we are taking to reduce that gap. So now we have the two versions of artifacts: one human readable form,
Okay.
one which is
Hmm.
needed for the next skill to go and be more precise. So
Right.
that's happening. And again, human in the loop is very critical because the
Hmm.
kind of artifacts is generating, the bottleneck is human who is going to review them. It's the biggest bottleneck
Exactly.
we also have.
Yes. Yes. And I think that's a very consistent point that we're seeing here. But from your perspective, what are some other limitations you're seeing with AI from your perspective?
Okay, so and I think we all of us started facing that challenge. So when we started, some of the early adopter, we started seeing the hallucination. We were trying to.
Hmm.
It amazes at the first step, but when you try to get closer, you go in a loop and things. Those were the there, but with the newer model, that's less. It's
Hmm.
really improved. But the challenge, what I see now, the amount of token we are burning, we are
Hmm.
not efficient. It's like uh, I got a tool which is very efficient, I'm not able to play with. I have a video game which
Hmm.
is very efficient, now I'm not able to play with. So I'm
Hmm.
wasting the resources. And right now, most of the industry leader are good in transforming their team to AI adoption part of it. But
Hmm.
AI efficiency part of it is the next goal you will see in next 12 to 24 months, because
Yes,
everyone, it's not like a pocket which do not have a limit. Everywhere we have a opex to cater, right? So
exactly.
they will start, okay, you now a digitally transformed team. Now your next goal is how efficiently you can work on a prompt or a
Yeah.
token to get the same delivery. That's the next phase we are all of us are transforming right now.
I love that perspective, and I think it's very consistent with what I've seen as well. So what I want to do now is go ahead and shift the conversation to a little bit more about you, Angesh, and on the personal side. Can you tell me this? What is something about you or your life that you wish more people knew about?
There are three things which I always like. I love my work. It's not like
Okay.
I'm doing a 9 to 6 job. If this is what if let's
I
suppose
can
I get
see it, by the
retired,
way.
I
I can
will
see how excited you are.
I can do that work even if I'm, let's suppose I'm retired with my work from paycheck point of view. I will still code. I will
Yeah.
still enjoy to build the software. It's not like something I have to do to get my paycheck. So I love it. It's my passion. So if it is
Mhm.
your passion, always try to build your career around your passion. You are gonna enjoy
Yes.
it. So second is the consistency. It's very
Mhm.
important. Whatever you do, if you're not consistent, because there's always up and down. I have seen very bad phases of my life. I've seen very good phases of my life, which hold me up in both phases. Even if you're very successful, if you're not consistent, you will fail drastically. And
Mhm.
even if you're failing, if you're consistent, you will have a support around you through your consistency. That
Mhm.
builds the credibility around. So
Yes.
consistency is the key in my personal life that I have seen. And the third thing is true to yourself. Be
Mhm.
honest, whatever you are doing. You cannot have a shortcut in your life.
Mhm.
Sometimes you will feel that you are hit hard just being an honest. It's okay. It's a matter of time. In a long run, that's gonna pay you off. That's
Mhm.
gonna you will feel proud about it. I can see that I spent almost 20 to 25 years in this career. I feel proud about it. I have nothing to hide. So
Mhm.
these three things is the key which build my career, which I'm proud about it.
Mhm.
Ups and down is part of, that heartbeats goes up and down. If it is up
Exactly.
and down, we are alive. If it is plain, we are
Yes.
not alive. So that's what I
Exactly.
see.
So, like you said, if you're doing something extraordinary, you're doing important work, you're going to have successes and you're going to have massive like dips and setbacks. So, how do you approach setbacks? How do you bounce back from setbacks?
Oh, very good point. So whenever I am very very sad, uh, I hit the block, or I hit with, there are many things in your, like, there are some smart guys, there are some very smart guy who will outsmart, honestly outsmart you, and then you
Mhm.
feel, man, how I missed that kind of thing will
Mhm.
happen, because there is always smarter person available in this planet than you. And at
Mhm.
that time, I would say the fourth thing of my thing, which is learning. If I'm very
Okay.
upset and think, I go and learn
Okay.
something new. For example, I start recently. I picked up. I wanted to fly always, so I started getting a pilot license, and I'm flying. So,
Wow.
so
That's
whenever
very
you
cool.
whenever you hit a roadblock, you're sad. Try to learn something new. Doesn't matter which area you are, it will give you a new perspective. Learning make you think positive, and
Mhm.
it will change everything. So always, whenever
Love.
you're down, try to learn. You will be in a, and don't try to push yourself, okay, I have to learn because I'm down. No, you have to
Mhm.
learn because you want to learn something. So have
Yes.
some to do bucket of your learning. Whenever you're down, pick one of them of that to do bucket and learn that thing. You
Mhm.
will be out of everything.
Love it. So what I'll do now is share a very concise perspective on health and fitness, and I'll go and conclude the podcast with Angesh's plans for this year. The main perspective I want to provide today is about how to make it time efficient specifically. The biggest bottleneck that I can see for most people is being consistent. And if you're someone that is coding the whole day, if you're traveling a lot, your ability to adhere to a normal fitness approach is very hard. Going to a gym and being a going forward with a location dependent approach is very hard. So what you have to do is think a little bit differently. How can I make this more efficient, and how can I adhere to it on a long enough time scale? Instead of thinking about an approach that's gym dependent, focus on something that's location independent, something you can do anytime, anywhere. Every time on this podcast, I always talk about leveraging step count because you can do that while you're listening to our podcast right now. You can do that while you're traveling. Anywhere there's ground underneath you can do it. There's a very specific amount you should be doing, but that is far more doable to adhere to compared to a gym dependent approach because you can do it anytime and anywhere, like I said before. So the idea is, can you restructure your approach to achieve the same principles of getting the right amount of movement and succeeding with the weight loss? Is what I would say is the main piece of advice I want to give. And this is actually what I leverage myself to actually lose over 70 pounds and actually keep it off. So hopefully it gives a different perspective to what is traditionally being said about health and fitness, and one that's actually doable for most people. So what we'll do now is go ahead and conclude the fitness conversation and go ahead and move on to Angesh's plans for this year, whether it be professionally or personally. So Angesh, tell me a little bit more about your plans for this year.
Yeah, first I would say, Aryan, I was really impressed by your transformation and
Thank you.
losing 70 pounds. I did it in my career in the past during
Yep.
2017 and 18. I lost a big, around 30 to 45 pounds, and then I gained back again. So I was not consistent. That was I was saying, consistent and discipline is very
Yep.
important. And
Yep.
also, the age matters a lot. At that time, I was young. At least 10 years
Yep.
back, I was able to do that. Now I'm trying hard. There are so many barriers. As you grew, your age change, your body changes, and those kind of things will definitely change the thing, uh, the way you plan. So you always have to plan looking at your resource, what
Yes.
you can do, right? So that
And your
is,
schedule and everything like that.
yes, it's not like one fit formula work for everyone or every age or
Exactly.
every man. No, you have to change it according to the time.
Exactly. Perfect. So tell me a little bit more about your plans for this year, professionally or personally.
So over this year and next, as I mentioned, like as I'm working with my team very very closely, they are already transformed. I can say that they are very very efficient in AI transformation and adoption point of view.
Hmm.
Now I'm going to accelerate that whole AI assisted engineering aspect of it, mostly focus on how I can reduce the token utilization. And that is one of my
Hmm.
key aspects, so that I can not only proudly say that our team is not AI enabled, they are AI efficiently enabled. Right? So that's
Hmm.
one of my area of focus for next, I would say 3 to 4 quarter. And
Okay.
secondly, build scalable, secure, and cloud platform. That's my domain.
Yeah.
It's not just how I'm going to use it, it's why I'm going to use it. So
Yes.
I'm going to build, we are really focused on Access Manager. If you have not seen, check out Meraki Access Manager is one of the Cisco's NAC product. We are accelerating fast, trying to build good feature. And the third, which is again critical, mentoring engineers and leaders as the industry is adapting this whole AI world. Try to
Hmm.
remove whatever the misconceptions we have as a as a as a active part of this industry and contribute it back.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Angesh. This was Aryan Mohindra and Angesh Vikram. Thank you for listening.